I'm recording this on January 21st. This is the new moon in Aquarius, February 4th, 2019. Excuse me, I have a cold. Um, let's first start with who the players are. On the 3rd of February, we have Venus entering Capricorn. So, who is that? Venus, of course, is a female. In Capricorn, this female is in politics and older. So this is an older female politician. Or could be more than one, of course. And the significance of this is that Venus will be conjoining with Saturn in mid degrees of Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn. Therefore, where this Venus is headed is besiegement. Venus will be besieged simply because we have two malefics, and she has just entered Capricorn, so she will be meeting up with these two malefics. And then the following day we have new moon in Aquarius. Now let's look at the dispositors. That's Uranus, which is void of course, and Saturn in dignity, its own sign. So, well, without mentioning what is happening now, currently now in January, when I'm recording this, is the what's happening at the government, the furloughed workers, and in the UK with Theresa May and Brexit. That's coming up in March 29th or 30th. So the new moon is on the 4th. On the 8th, right here, Mars goes into 26 degrees of Aries. This is critical because this is going to get things started. It is critical because it comes to a crisis point. And the following week, Mars conjoins Uranus. And it could be violent. Violent eruptions, violent strikes. And it is, like I said, it could be violent. And then it's a violent turn of events, let's say. And then on the 14th, the next day, Mars goes into Taurus. Of course, Taurus is banking and retail. And this is about the budget or the money. As far as politics is concerned. And for the markets, yes, it's about the earnings. So let's continue on. You can expect sudden, unexpected circumstances and talks or negotiations arising. Like I said, it'd be good and maybe not so good. But we already know that Congress is involved and the Parliament is involved, and it's really about money. Now, elsewhere in the economy, we got the markets. Manufacturing, specifically auto manufacturing, chip makers, utilities, communications technology, rails, social media companies, transportation, leasing, and things unusual that are not expected. News can come up suddenly, or circumstances can pop up suddenly. But there's a lot of news, especially from overseas, coming in that can catch us by surprise. Okay, so new moon in Aquarius, 15 degrees. So-called wildcat strikes can come out of this, or even air strikes that can be violent. Eruptions, or sudden jolts and movements, or even wake-up calls for the people. So which sectors come to the fore? This lunation brings auto manufacturers to the fore in the markets. This matter could be about General Motors, Tesla, Nissan, and even about Carlos Ghosn. So this is a follow-through on what has started last year in the auto sector, and of course, it's about EV, the electric vehicles. This strike or outcry or negotiations are not bad. In fact, the negotiations are now well underway. This negotiation, whether with workers, unions, or whomever, has started, and matters or events are well underway, moving towards some progress. So, of course, the EV and retooling is also discussed. New leasing structures could be discussed. Social media companies are also highlighted. The countries that are highlighted are Saudi Arabia, Russia, Syria, Sweden, and Poland could be on national media. Something new in wireless technology could also be announced. Now, rails, energy, and utilities are another sector highlighted. These are very interrelated because the rails transport raw materials, especially coal, to utilities. In the energy sector, Uranus is void, of course, and Mars is about to conjunct it. But Mars must first go through that crisis point before it conjoins Uranus. And that crisis point is the 8th, or going towards the 8th. This new moon in Aquarius is pointing to this critical point. Remember that Mars is now the dispositor of Uranus, which is the dispositor of this Aquarius lunation, along with Saturn, because Saturn co-rules Aquarius. This will be the last reorganization, or it's finishing up its involvement in Aries, the energy sector. Now, Uranus revolutionized the energy sector with fracking, which revitalized the Permian Basin and other areas of the world. Remember Aubrey McClendon, the former Chesapeake CEO, back in 2008 or 2009, had speculated heavily in the futures market. Natural gas back then was suffering, and then, along with crude oil. And I think Permian's revolutionary period or disruptive era could be over. This disruption in the energy sector is about to come to a close, as Uranus, right now, void of course, or not taking action, is triggered to action by Mars. Therefore, Mars energy crisis around second week of February triggers the final reorganization of the energy sector, which should occur shortly thereafter, the following week, midweek of February. So next, Neptune sextiles Saturn and Pluto. I believe this is the oil reserves, which are well under control domestically. However, Neptune square Jupiter is over surplus from foreign countries. And as you can see, and this is something that you should keep an eye on, is that Jupiter is going to be 17 degrees Sagittarius. And that is critical. So Saturn and Pluto indicates multiple mineral deposits contracting when Saturn conjoins Pluto. There has been a cut in consumption because Mars is moving away from squaring Saturn. However, this lunation should be favorable. Sudden unexpected news or figures or talks that was hidden can come and move the markets. It should be favorable for the stock market, which is still trying to recover. Countries highlighted in February, again, Russia, Syria, Turkey, Poland, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Germany. Just part of Germany. They will be highlighted in the news. I believe Israel could be drawn in, but not until later. These countries are also oil and gas producers, except for Turkey, Poland, and Germany. However, these three countries are involved in oil and gas arena, not as producers. Yes, the disruption in the oil and gas producing countries should be coming to an end, but not without that final critical conjunction of Mars and Uranus, which happens in February, right here on the 13th. They too are trying to come to agreement on their supply. No matter how it's handled, cuts in gas and oil could be expected. Neptune is in 15-degree Pisces. That's your second decade. Collaborating, and Jupiter is in 17 degrees, indicating change has to take place. And again, that is a critical point for Jupiter. So collaborating changes sounds inevitable. Thank you for tuning in, and please subscribe.